The main thing when it comes to performance songs is identifying what are your strengths.
Yeah.
What is your prima voce, as I like to call it, right?
Yeah.
And then pick songs that are mostly showcasing that part of your voice.
Yep.
I want to add to that too. Like beyond that, that's the first thing. That's where you start with your song choice. But beyond that, another filter that we kind of add into that, considering performances, is where am I performing this and who's my audience? Mm-hmm. Who's listening? Am I playing a set of acoustic songs at a coffee shop where people aren't really going to be paying attention to me? Yeah. Then I don't really need to be singing like a bunch of Beyonce.
Yeah.
Hey Voxstar, and welcome to From Singer to Artist. I'm Lara Chapman, award-winning singer and songwriter turned viral vocal coach and the host of this show. At VoxTape Studios, we help singers from all over the world level up their voices by teaching them the 3 fundamental skills all singers need: technique, awareness, and artistry. Whether you're looking to go pro or just develop your voice for fun, my team and I are here to help. Check the link in the description to book your first session or grab some of our other resources. Alrighty, are you ready? Let's get started.
I might be a little bit dramatic when I'm saying that song choice is literally gonna make or break you, but also I'm not that dramatic about it. So we're gonna talk about song choice today so that you can get the most out of your voice and out of your performance and out of your practice, together with Coach Bri and Coach Emily from our team. Thank you, ladies. Song choice. Oh, it's not that deep, but it is freaking deep.
Yeah.
It's important. It is very important, depending on what it is you're trying to do. So maybe we need to first figure out like the kinds of occasions that we pick songs for. On one hand, we have practicing.
So we have practicing what you're good at and practicing what you are, what obstacle you're trying to overcome.
Yes, your challenge.
So that's already, we already have 2 under that umbrella.
I guess.
You're so good for not just saying what you're good at and when you're bad at.
Yeah.
I don't say bad.
I also avoid it in lessons, but like...
Yeah. But then I talk to myself. That sucked.
Yes.
Actually, I don't say that to myself. I'm very gentle with my heart.
Wow. Good for you. I'm a bitch to myself. So yeah, practicing your strengths, practicing your challenges. Challenges was one I learned from you. I used to say weaknesses. And now I learned challenges. So strengths and challenges. That's a practice song.
Yeah.
Then we have singing just for fun. Mm-hmm. And guess what? When you're singing just for fun, you can do whatever the heck you want.
Yeah.
And then we have performance. Mm-hmm. And I guess if you want to like take competition, like and have that separately from performance,
audition.
Mm-hmm. That could also be a little different when we're doing a competition / audition versus like just a normal performance.
I think performance can be the umbrella, and then the caveat is you might choose differently knowing what the performance is for.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fair. So let's start with practice songs.
Yeah. Okay.
Who would like to go?
We're the Giggle Sisters over here.
When I first get a student in a lesson, like I'm talking the first time I ever meet with a singer, and we're trying to choose a song to work on, my first goal is always, what are you comfortable with? What do you know already? And sometimes we like get it right away, and what we're comfortable with is like a really good place to start. And sometimes it's maybe not the best place to start. And so I'll come and maybe we start with that for the first week because I don't know your voice yet. I don't know your voice yet, and I need to listen to it and hear more and get to know more about your interests and what your goals are. But then I might come in the next session or two and with some other options and redirection of, let's try, I just want to hear what this would sound like on your voice. Mm-hmm. Just to find, especially when you're starting out your very first lesson with a new coach, mm-hmm. I think it's really important to have a practice song that you feel really good about. Mm-hmm. Because I always like to start lessons by building on what we're already doing well.
Yes.
Yeah.
it helps with confidence.
Definitely. Yeah. And building that trust. And it's really
Yes.
important to like build that trust and feel safe. Like, oh, okay, I'm not going to be like coming into this lesson with Laura and not know what to expect. And then I sing my song and I think I'm doing a really good job. And she's like, well, actually you did these 5 things that all sucked. So we need to change everything that you're doing. And like, one, that's like, I don't think you should ever be hearing that from a voice coach.
Oh my God,
Like,
if you do, run.
yeah, like stop taking lessons with them. They're not your person.
Yeah.
That's just not our job as vocal coaches. Like, so it's impossible in a way that is possible with like guitar or saxophone or drums. Like, it's impossible to separate ourself from our instrument as singers. So that's a really, which I think is a consideration in most music lessons of like the ego aspect and like the self-confidence aspect, but especially for singing because it's so personal and it's so vulnerable and it's literally a part of your body and your physiology that you cannot change.
Yeah.
We can learn how to coordinate it and like grow and stuff, but
And manipulate things.
but it is not separate from self.
Yeah. So starting with something that you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
If you're working in a lesson with somebody.
Yeah, I'm similar, but I'm totally gonna steal that from you. Start with building up strengths. But I will ask when I say, oh hey, what are we singing today? You know, and they're like, oh, I don't know, I have a couple things. I'll offer like, well, why don't we start? We have time, right? Why don't we start with something that you feel really awesome in, and then if there's not much to work on or we're not looking to work on it, then we choose a challenge song right after that.
Yeah.
Right. So you can establish. First of all, just establish that there is a separation.
Yeah.
Right? That you don't have to avoid songs that you think are too easy. Just because you're good at them, like you're good at it for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing like things are popular, like when people just hate on popular things, it's like things are popular for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And it's okay to like that. It's okay to sing espresso. We're loving espresso this morning. You know, like it's okay to sing espresso if it's your favorite song. Which also takes me into, I think, something that covers all these songs. You have to like it.
Oh yes.
You don't like your song, I'll usually give my students at least 10 songs and be like, hey, here are 10 songs that I think would sound really awesome in your voice. If you're not drawn to any of them, you don't have to do them. Right? Like, but I'm giving you, some things are going to check all these different boxes, but you have to like your song.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what category it's in. But yeah, that's, I think then that gets into the challenge songs.
Yeah. So I want to talk about a difficulty level.
Yes.
I think that's super important because if you are just starting out with singing, maybe don't pick a Mariah Carey song.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe it would guide you away from that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I get it. Like, that's what you want to do. And I love that. But let us work up to that. So
Yeah, you got to get there.
It's like, you know, if you're, no, we're ditching analogies. Okay. So it's like, as a beginner, you can't be, no, I'm going to ditch that too. Ditch all of that. Okay. Where am I going with this? We have to work our way up to certain songs. So let's say
It's a ladder.
It's a ladder.
Skills.
Yes, 100%. So, you know, let's say you're struggling with with getting a solid chest sound, right? Let's isolate that. Let's work on that. Let's pick a song that works on that. But maybe let's not do Toni Braxton, like "Unbreak My Heart," that goes like down there. Right? Like, if we're struggling to get a chest voice sound, like, no.
Yeah.
So, you know, pick songs that are like 1 or 2 steps outside of your comfort zone, not 10.
Yes.
Yeah, like if we want to work on getting a solid chest voice, and maybe I'm working with a student on, we want to feel like we have access to our chest voice at a higher range, we're going to find a song that isolates chest voice, that kind of pushes towards the top of where they're comfortable now, but isn't out of range right now.
Out. Yeah.
Right? Like,
We want to, like, this is your comfort zone. We want to just start expanding that, because then eventually that top part of your chest range that was really hard before, the more you practice that song, that feels super easy. Great.
Yes.
So now we can take your bubble, expand
And expand it 100%.
a little bit more. And then that's how you get to Mariah Carey. But you can't be like, I'm here and Mariah Carey's here. So what I'm gonna do is just like bloop.
Yeah,
and now
it doesn't work that way. You're gonna get so frustrated so quickly.
It's gonna be defeating.
And you might be straining a ton to get there.
Vocal
is no bueno.
Yeah.
You could set up a 500-pound barbell and try and deadlift it, and you don't have the strength for it, right? Coming in day one, and you could try picking up that barbell every day for a year, and you're not going to be able to pick it up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and you're not going to get closer to picking it up. Yeah.
But you might get closer to using your back to like slightly get it off the ground and like hurting yourself and like, oh, but if I like straighten my legs a certain way and like tilt my arm a certain way, then I can get it to hover. Like, because now, I keep hitting this thing. Because now we're not doing it in a way that's sustainable. That's gonna hurt your whole body.
We're not training. We're not training the muscles.
Yeah, you're not training the muscles. You're manipulating your way through it.
Yes.
And then that's where we end up with like massive entanglements. And I say often when that's been happening, because I think that's the case for a lot of singers, especially when they get to a point where they come to voice lessons, right? Like I do work with people who are like, I literally am stringing together notes. And I also work with people who have been workshopping their own voice via through the idea that this is what I want to sound like, so I'm just going to make myself sound like that, right? And then I view those voices like a tangled up necklace.
Yeah.
You absolutely can detangle it, and we do, right? But you really have to be intentional and specific and delicate.
That way that you described it.
Because it's not a big, like, sailor knot, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you got to, like, yank this thing out. It's like we have to, like, oh, your jaw's tight. Oh, what's making your jaw tight? Now your tongue's tight. Oh, but you know what? If we align your breathing, both of those things relax. But when we align your breathing, now you're not thinking about this thing because this thing is, you know, and it's, you really have to be super delicate with detangling that necklace and knowing where to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And song choice.
And song choice.
Oh
my God,
big
I'm a
part
crazy
of that.
lady today.
I've had students come in and say, I really want to work on high belting. And I'm like, okay. And then I hear them sing and I'm like, actually, I think we need to spend some time in your low range because that's like where your money notes are. And also, I don't think we've really discussed this much on the podcast, but in terms of aligning the voice and finding clarity and freedom and ease through the voice, if you can align the bottom, the top will just fall into place. It's like the foundation of your house. Like
the bottom of what?
Like the bottom of your range.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Like your approach to the bottom of your range will directly impact how you're able to like approach and sing your higher notes. And so we did a lot of work on the low because that was one, we're starting with building on the strengths and making some adjustments that are going to help us really execute and dial in those high notes that we were wanting to work on. So then we started with a different song and then came back to that song that they initially brought in the lesson maybe a month later. And we were able to work on it so much like more quickly.
100%. So I would say like for practice songs, if we're working on expanding our skill set, right? Maybe not necessarily artistry, but if we're working on expanding our skill set, then picking a song that's challenging but not too challenging is the sweet spot, right? Like we're almost there. We can get it within a month of practice.
And it's great when you as the student can decide that and figure that out for yourself, but there's no shame in needing a little bit of help from a coach.
Oh my God.
I tell my students all the time, I'm like, I want to hear what you're interested in working on next. And if you bring a list of 3 songs to our next lesson, I can help you narrow that down, or you can send me an email or stuff like in the meantime to help you finalize that decision and guide, okay, maybe they're all great, or maybe it's like, I think let's put those in the bank. Let's come back to those a little bit later, and here are some other options that I think could work really well based on what are our goals, what are we doing well, what are we trying to work on.
That doesn't mean you can't put Mariah Carey on a shelf over here.
And
say, I'm working on Cardigan by Taylor Swift because I'm working on those low notes so that when I get to Mariah Carey, everything's easier, right? It doesn't mean that we're saying you're never going to sing Mariah Carey.
No.
Which I don't think anyone has even gotten close to saying, but I want to just emphasize too. Like, you just gotta put it off to the side for a second, get all those elements in order, and then you can approach that.
Yeah.
And that's going to take time and patience. And that also doesn't mean getting into fun songs. Like you can put on Mariah Carey and go, yeah, and make whatever sounds you want for fun. Who
100%
cares? I
Getting silly and making weird sounds and
that's
just
how
like
you grow.
Yes, that's how you grow.
Yeah. And please don't police yourself when you're trying to sing for fun.
Yes.
That's not the time to be like, oh, my tongue is so tight. Oh, I don't want to sing anymore. Because that's, people have said that, have been like, now I only think about my technique and it makes me not want to sing in the car. And that's not the point. The point of voice lessons is for you to enjoy your sound even more. But sing Mariah Carey in the car.
Who cares?
In the shower.
Some of my biggest vocal breakthroughs in my voice studies, but particularly like thinking back to college, was singing in the shower, running through my rep in the shower. Well, I was maybe thinking about it a little bit, mostly for like language, but not thinking about my technique enough. I was relaxed. The water was warm, or folding laundry or doing any other type of mindless task where I am stepping out of the academic critical mindset and just focusing on singing and also whatever else is in front of me.
Yeah.
I also want to bring up something, which is like, how do you continue having fun in songs once you start voice lessons? How do you not think about technique all the time?
Yeah. Or stay in love with your song that you loved at the beginning, because it's important to love the song at first, right? When you're choosing it.
And then you sing, sometimes I think we all have sang the song to death.
Absolutely.
And been like, please never play that song for me again. And then lately I've been just singing for fun songs that I stopped singing when I was 16 because I sang them to death. And I've been like, I love these. These are awesome. Hello, musical theater. But one thing for me, and when I sing for fun, it's often musical theater, and I just dig into the acting of it. And I give myself, which is not to say if you don't care about acting, you don't have to do that, but I give myself something to focus on. It's much easier to do something than to try not to. Right?
I love that.
So if you love Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, dance around while you do it. Get your body moving. Think about just staying in time, or don't think about staying in time. Just move yourself around. Isolate. Think, what happens if I move my head and whatever. Not what happens to my voice, which if you're thinking that, awesome, cool. But give yourself something to do so that you can continue having fun the way that you did before you started working on your voice.
Yeah. And that kind of, my brain, when you're saying this, my brain goes into isolation, focus and isolation. And I think that's also very important when we are picking a practice song, that we can isolate certain parts. A practice song doesn't mean that you have to sing the entire song always. Yeah. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes we pick a song just for the verse, or just for the chorus, or just for the bridge, or whatever, because it's the perfect thing to work on your voice, for that specific thing that we're trying to do. So that's what I mean with isolation, isolating certain parts of a song or isolating certain parts of your voice, and being intentional about it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're gonna get more out of your practice that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then so that's your practice songs. Know what you're working on. Make sure it's not if you can just sing it perfectly, might not be a good practice song.
Yeah,
it's too easy. But it's a good for fun song, or good for performance song. But we're gonna get to that in just a second. Make sure it is 1 or 2 steps outside of your comfort zone, not 20.
Yeah.
And isolate certain parts. Okay, love it. So that's practice songs. Moving on to, we already covered fun songs. Do whatever the heck you want with fun songs. Whatever lights up your heart, do it. Performance songs. This is where it gets a little bit more difficult. And I always start by saying, it is our duty as singers to deliver the best possible performance, not to sing the most difficult and impressive, if you can pull them off, songs. That's not what it's about. So when we are singing, and when we're performing specifically, we want to pick songs that are showcasing what we do best, not showcasing the things that we are still working on, that are still challenging. You're gonna sound like you're gonna be perceived as a much better singer when you sing songs that are showcasing your strengths than when you're not. So I think the main thing when it comes to performance songs is identifying what are your strengths. What is your prima voce, as I like to call it, right? And then pick songs that are mostly showcasing that part of your voice.
I want to add to that too. Like beyond that, that's the first thing. That's where you start with your song choice. But beyond that, another filter that we kind of add into that, considering performances, is where am I performing this and who's my audience? Who's listening? Am I playing a set of acoustic songs at a coffee shop where people aren't really going to be paying attention to me? Then I don't really need to be singing like a bunch of Beyonce. You know, nobody wants to like hear that. They're trying to have their conversations. I'm just supposed to be background music. And so I choose my songs differently for that than I do for a jazz gig where I'm playing a cocktail hour at a wedding. Different styles of songs, kind of same deal where we're like pretty wallpaper, you know? Like that. That's what we try and market ourselves as.
But and as funny, like we're laughing about it because it's funny. Also, like that doesn't mean like that also doesn't like put you in a different performance category, like our ranking, than if your people are coming to watch your
and that
band.
doesn't mean that I'm gonna like sing any less like or try any less hard. Like
You're still putting your best foot forward. But
absolutely.
you're conscious about the songs that you're choosing for
and the setting. Like
because again, like who wants to be at a brewery with someone like gralting their face, singing "Love on Top"?
Or like at a wedding cocktail hour, I'm not gonna have my jazz guys play a snarky puppy song. That's way too much. You know, versus like a competition song is going to be a different consideration. It's going to be, what do I do really well? Also, who's going to be in the audience and who's going to be adjudicating? Are they going to know the song, but is it overdone? We don't want it to be overdone, but we don't want it to be so obscure that like
they're spending
that they're like
time trying to figure out the song.
What are you saying?
They're wasting their
like, and then also who is going to be the audience, and is the audience voting versus like just there, and the judges are just voting, right? So then it's also a consideration of, okay, I'm gonna pick an Adele song because a lot of people know Adele and I'm good at singing ballads, but I'm not going to pick the slowest one because that's going to bore people to death. And a lot of people, like too many people, choose ballads in competition. And I'm also not going to choose like her number one greatest hit song because that's also been way overdone.
And fun fact, if you are auditioning for like American Idol or The Voice or any of those shows, they actually pick the songs for you.
And they have a banned song list.
Oh, and like you don't really have a say in what you get to sing.
Oh, you're talking like for like the actual like film stuff.
If you're doing the TV stuff.
Gotcha.
What you sing on TV.
Well, even before that, there's a no list that you are not allowed to choose from when you're coming into the auditions for just the producers.
Oh yeah, no, there you have to pick something because they don't know you, so they don't know what to pick for you. So you have to pick something there. But if you make it to like the stuff that you see on TV, you don't get to pick your song; they pick for you. So. This does not go into song choice because you literally have no choice. Then that comes to how can I make the most out of the song that was chosen for me? But that is a different conversation.
But that also brings up like it's really important what you audition with because you're showing them this is what I do.
Yes.
Right? And then they're probably...
I made exactly that mistake when I was auditioning for The Voice in Switzerland. This was when I was in high school, a little bit below. And I was auditioning with... And all that jazz, I'm gonna rouge my knees. Musical theater. So I was branded the musical theater kid. And if you know me, I'm so
that's the thing.
Musical theater. And so then the song that they picked for me, this was still in the producer rounds, not even what was going to be on TV. This was the third round. Then they picked Don't Stop Believing by Journey for me, which is not a musical theater song, but they wanted to hear the Glee version of it. And they didn't tell me that on the phone when they called me, like, Don't Stop Believing, Journey. Cool, got it. Then I walked into the audition room. I'm like, I have Don't Stop Believing by Journey. And they're like, you mean Glee? And I'm like, what's Glee? I didn't know Glee. And so they were already pissed before I even started. And then that was the end of my journey there.
That's so annoying. That's literally not your fault.
Yeah.
But, you know,
That's never your fault.
not my fault, but also maybe I wouldn't have moved on in the competition anyways.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't mean, like, otherwise I would have succeeded. Not necessarily. You don't know.
I just mean
Either
it was like
way,
unfair of them to be like mad.
because I literally
literally
didn't
do your
know,
job
like, what was
better.
I supposed to do,
I don't
right?
know.
You do your job better.
But again, you were so right with what you said there, Emily. Be like, you want to showcase yourself, and like I was working on all that jazz in a voice lesson, so I brought in that song, and I was like, I sound really good singing this song, but and then I didn't think that they were gonna brand me as the musical theater kid then.
Oh, I just thought of something. I want to say it's also okay for like what your best foot forward is to evolve.
Oh my God,
As
yes.
you
Oh my God,
do
yes.
lessons. Like, okay, in high school, and when I was doing that competition where I chose an Adele song that wasn't a mainstream, like, on radio song, I was really great at Adele. And that's not to say I'm not great at Adele now. Like, that's just to say she was an artist that I could always pick that I was like, this is going to really showcase what I'm doing well. Well, then I went to school and I developed more. I was very like belty as a kid. I was always like, and was learning how to develop my head voice and a mixed voice a little bit, but not too much, which Adele didn't use a ton of, right? She was like very belty and then would flip into head voice and be very light and delicate and beautiful, but I wasn't hearing a ton of mix. At least on the 21 album, right? Which is what I was picking from at the time. But after college now, Adele is nowhere near my first pick. Like, she's towards the bottom of the list of when I'm picking rep for myself to go put into a show, to go record a cover online, to go be in an audition.
Yeah.
You know? Because now I've developed other parts of my voice that I'm like, oh, actually, this is where my voice is sitting, and this is what I'm
100%.
like.
100%.
Yeah.
And just going back to like competitions, auditions, a lot of times people are like, I'm just going to pick the most difficult song I can sing so that it's like, wow, they can sing that song. You're going to sound so much better singing something that feels more comfortable than struggling through a more difficult
You
song.
also, nobody wants to watch you think about your singing.
No.
Yeah.
So if you're choosing the most difficult song, even if you can technically manage it, but the whole time you're the wizard and right? Like, and you're really like thinking through it. Like, we're not getting a show, we're watching you practice.
Yeah.
Right? And like, that's not what I'm paying money for. That's not what the 1 minute cut that these casting directors are watching. Like, you're 1 minute out of their 1 million minutes in the day. Like, you know? So you want to do something that is, yes, your best foot forward. That has been your best foot forward for a little bit too.
Yeah.
It can, of course, evolve, but something where you're like, I've been doing this song comfortably for quite some time now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that also gets into cuts, right? Like cutting a song. Because often you're not going to have the time you're not going to have the 3.5 to 4 minutes to do the entire song. Some competitions do that. Auditions don't. Auditions don't. I'll say for musical theater at least, but for most things, it's like sing about a minute, usually verse, chorus. The way that I learned to cut songs, right? You have your 16 bar cut and your 32 bar cut, and that we're talking about measures of sheet music, and you can Google a little music theory to if that doesn't make sense. So 16 bar cut is usually a little less than a minute. 32 bar cut is usually somewhere between a minute and a minute and a half. And we want to stick to those guidelines because they're going to stop watching in a minute.
Yeah.
Right? They might stop watching at 5 seconds. That's its own thing.
Yeah.
Right? But so they're going to stop watching in a minute. So you need to create an arc in your song, in your cut. So a lot of people are like, I'm just going to do the bridge to the end because the bridge goes really high, and then the ending I just keep belting. And then it turns out you just showed the exact same thing for your entire minute.
Yeah.
You've been belting the whole time. Maybe you pulled it back a little bit. There's no range, right? So what I recommend, and the way that I learned it in undergrad is like, probably want to do a little bit of a verse, maybe if you have time for that 32 bar cut, like a little bit of the verse, then you can jump to the bridge, right, to get the climax of the song and then make the ending mean something. Or adjust the ending a little bit to make it make sense for you. If you only have a minute, usually I usually do a verse and final chorus, something there. I know the bridge is usually the most impressive part, or often, because it's different. And in musical theater, it means that they're gonna start belting E's and F's right now.
Good Lord.
Right? But if you don't pull back on that, if you don't do the beginning of My Days from the Notebook, right? And you only just do, I just need to choose my time, right? We're in the same spot the whole time. So I think it's important also to mention, like, there can be a song that's like perfect. It checks all the boxes, but it's 5 minutes long and you can do 1 minute of that song. And there is no good 1 minute of that song. That makes sense. That gives you an arc, that gives you anything to do. That's even possible because the verses are really long. So
maybe that's not your song.
Well, maybe that's not your song for this thing. Put it in your cabaret.
Put it in your cabaret. There you go. Yeah. And so when we go back to performance songs, where we're singing multiple songs, or maybe even like a whole set list, I think we need to like create a whole different episode on creating a set list. That's a long conversation. But just like in general, what kind of songs to sing. And again, like Bri, you said, keep in mind where you're going to be playing and who you're playing for. Keep in mind what your strengths are. Pick something that is sustainable, something that's easy, something, especially if you're preparing for a performance, something that you know you can still do even if you're not feeling 100%. Because when nerves start kicking in, and I mean, I used to always get sick before a performance. Always. And that's probably a mental thing. Right?
Yeah, it's like your nervous system freaking out.
Exactly. So from that, I learned I need to pick songs that I can sing even if I'm not feeling 100%. Because let's be real, especially as adults, there's always something that stresses us out, or we didn't get a good sleep, or whatever, right? Like we're very rarely feeling 100%. Right? So picking something that you can pull off even if you're not, I'm living my best life today.
I tell students this all the time. Like they'll come into a lesson and be like, I just don't feel great today. I was like, okay, well, this is a great learning opportunity to learn 100%. How to work with what you have, because as much as we try and get out of our head when we're singing, it can be and stays a very mental game when you're making game time decisions and calls in the moment on a stage of, I'm not going to opt up to this note. I'm going to choose a different melodic idea here instead because my high note isn't connecting today. And I don't want to chance it because I'd rather know that I'm going to nail this little descending alternate melody than risk cracking on stage. And that's the only thing they're going to remember. I could be great the rest of the time. That's the only thing they're going to remember. That happened to me when I was like 10 and singing the national anthem at like a taekwondo competition. There was like 1,000 people there and I was so nervous. And my voice cracked so bad. And it wasn't even on a high note, you guys. It was like
nerves.
It was on like, I was descending and the crack was so bad. And I was like, that's all. I kept singing to like, I can't believe that I did, but I was a little professional. Okay. And I kept singing. I was like, I'm going to sing the end and I'm going to sing the one in Korean. So I guess actually that was the first time that I ever sang classical was the Korean national anthem when I was 10.
Oh my God. But that happened to me too. I was in middle school and I cracked on a Beyonce
the rest
song.
of the day.
Oh my gosh. And that like, you know, it was not a good time anyways, but you know, like I was devastated just because I was trying to push that note out. But then also we need to realize like for ourselves, and you evaluate that for yourself at home too, like what is within my capabilities when it comes to improvisation, right?
Oh yeah.
That's why what you said, Bri, like you're not feeling 100% in your practice session, great. Let's figure out alternative ways to sing this so we can create little safety nets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that you don't have to improvise on the spot.
Right. And I'll give
have something
those like options to my students, or like usually I'll prompt them and see like, okay, what, like, do you have any ideas of what else you could do here? I'm like, okay, yeah, that's on the key. I might choose something like this and maybe give like another note or two. And they're like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And then we learn, we spend time practicing both of them and practice like a list of different options of like, okay, do we go and like fully yodel this? Do we flip into a really, do we like lean into a more breathy head voice?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's different depending on how your voice feels.
Yes.
And no one's going to notice.
No. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
No one's going to notice unless you literally go, love on top, baby, because you're the one that I love. Like, right? Like, if you do
Dropping down the octave.
drastic,
Yeah.
that's very, to a very popular song that's noticeable.
Yeah.
But if you're singing some deep cut at a coffee shop
Yeah.
with your guitar, and you, even if it's not a deep cut, even if it's popular, and you just like melodically alter what you need to.
Yeah.
No one,
A lot of times
I'm not
people
gonna
even
clock it.
appreciate it
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, now they made it their own version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Hard Place by her. I'll sing that song a lot, but she is, first of all, I love her. But, and she has such a deep, low range and such meaty low notes. And she like, I don't always have those low notes. So oftentimes I'll raise the key, and sometimes even when I raise the key, I still sing different melodies than going all the way down on some of those verses and things, because nobody wants to hear me be like, oh my God, what's the verse go? Wanna believe what you say, but on most days, I have faith in my patience.
Yeah.
Nobody wants me to hear go patience. Like they want to hear me go, my patience, headstrong, and know you're dead wrong, right? Like find something else that's in the key that works. If you're
Halo
like,
is another big example for
oh
that
my God,
too.
Yeah.
What's up? Blah, blah, blah.
I'm telling
Never even make a
that.
sound.
Yeah, sounds.
No one's paying to hear me sing that.
See, this is where I shine.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
not
that's
really
why-
shine, but
Well, and that's why when you put out music, and like maybe I'll practice to your songs, and when I put out music, maybe you'll practice to my songs, but I'm not going to go to a paid performance or a free performance and sing something that is not in my wheelhouse.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, and
Exactly.
it's important to remember your audience is rooting for you. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's
Yes.
rooting for you to fail, and nobody is like nobody's holding the bar here saying if you don't sing it like the track, you're not singing the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
And
so
if
sing
people
it
are
how
saying, So please go ahead.
like you have freedom to sing it a little bit differently.
Yeah, for sure.
And if someone is holding you to that bar, that's a them problem.
That is a them.
They are so attached. Again, we're not saying make drastic changes to popular songs and totally change them, unless you're rearranging, making a specific cover version, make it justified and intentional and make sense in the context of the song. But yeah, if you're hearing if you're hearing feedback of like that's not like the original at all from one person again and again, and no one else is saying that to you,
It's just one person's opinion.
It's just one person's
It doesn't
opinion.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
your opinion matters more.
I love it. I think we covered pretty much everything when it comes to
so.
picking songs. And like, Emily, you always say, it's not that deep.
Yeah.
But also, it is really
it is.
important.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very specific, but
It
it's
is, yeah.
not. It's not that deep. But even
You can find 50
yeah.
options that fit the specifics.
Yeah. Oh my
and
God,
it doesn't
there's
matter which
millions
of
of
those options that
songs.
you choose.
There you go.
Right? Like that's what we mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trying to pick a song to work on to have the coaches coach me, and I was like, well, what about this one? No, I can't do that. What about this one? I struggle from song choice freezing. I'm like, especially because we were trying to pick something outside of my wheelhouse too, right? To be a practice song. But and then I literally got to the point where I was like, I picked the first song that we landed on because I was like, why am I thinking about this too much? I just get to sing it. That's it. It's just fun.
Yeah.
And just try it. And if you're like, this song doesn't feel right anymore, change it.
Yeah, change it.
No problem. I
Yeah.
love it.
If you do it like 3 days in a row in performances and you're like, this just doesn't hit. Yeah.
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 No one knows that you used to have it in your set.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you, ladies.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. So be mindful of the songs that you're picking. It does matter. If you need help with that, we'd love to help you with it. We'd love to work with you. You can always book a session through the link below and figure out what's going on. What are your strengths? What are some of the challenges that we're working on so we can find some good practice songs for you that are, you know, like 2 steps out of your comfort zone, not 20. And we find some performance songs where it's like, yeah, like if you perform today, these are the songs. And then in 6 months, it's probably going to look a little different.
Yeah.
And in 6 years, it's going to look even more different. So that's everything keeps evolving. And it's the same with audition books too.
Yes.
Don't just keep the same songs in your audition book. Let it evolve.
Yeah.
Is what we learned. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next session. Bye.